York's plan to seize Trump's buildings running into a major roadblock. Trump scoring a win after an appeals court slashed his staggering $450 million bond to $175 million in his civil fraud judgment. He now has 10 days to pay the lower amount in order to stop Attorney General Leticia James from seizing his assets. That all happening while Trump was in a different courtroom today. A judge ruling his hush money trial will start April 15th, meaning Trump will be the first presidential candidate on trial while campaigning. Trump slamming the criminal cases against him as election interference.
So, a lot of things happened today. This is all about election interference. This is all Biden-run things, meaning Biden and his thugs, because I don't know if he knows he's alive. And it's a shame. It's a shame what's happening to our country. This is election interference. They are doing things that have never been done in this country before. We've never had anything like it, certainly not at this level, but we've really had nothing like it that I've been able to find. It does happen a lot in third world countries, banana republics. If you look at what we just left, you have a case which they're dying to get this thing started. The judge cannot go faster. He wants to get it started so badly, and there's tremendous corruption. And you had other instances like Colangelo. Colangelo is a radical left from the DOJ who was put into the state working with Leticia James and then was put into the district attorney's office to run the trial against Trump. And that was done by Biden and his thugs also, because they can't win an election because of the borders, because of energy prices, because of inflation, because of Afghanistan, the worst and most embarrassing day in the history of our country. He can't win because of Russia, because of all the problems, because of Ukraine being attacked by Russia. And he can't win because of the October 7th attack of Israel, which he should have never allowed to happen, would have never happened if I were president. Ukraine would have never been attacked if I was president. And you wouldn't have inflation if I was president. We didn't have inflation. So all of these things, so what they do is they do election interference, which is court cases, and let's try and tie him up, and let's take as much of his money as possible. I respect the appellate division for substantially reducing that ridiculous amount of money that was put on by a corrupt judge named Engoron. He ought to be looked at, seriously looked at, especially what he did with valuations. He's the one, he's a fraudulent valuator, where he values Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, and people say it's worth 50 to 100 times that much, the biggest experts in the business. So he ought to be looked at, and James ought to be looked at, because she tried to get him. She's like the puppet master of the judge. And, you know, our state, this state, is losing tremendous prestige. It's losing its companies. It's losing its people. They're fleeing, and violent crime is flourishing. And we can't have that. We can't have that. No city should have that.
The $175 million bond, which certainly is appropriate because there was absolutely no connection between the $475 million and I think it's $500 million at this point with the interest that Engoron just pulled out of the sky and said, I'm going to hit Donald Trump for that. And, you know, they're just disappointed because they wanted to call him broke Don. And he's not broke Don anymore. He's going to make that $175 million bond. Now, it is conditioned, of course, upon his perfecting his appeal by September. That means he's got to have all his appellate work in the appellate division, first department, which rendered this decision reducing the bond. But I want to just, Dana, because I looked this up, when Sam Bankman-Fried, who apparently conned something like $1 million or 1 million victims, his bond was $250 million. Bernie Madoff had 40,000 victims. His bond was $10 million. Donald Trump, no victims, $500 million. I mean, I don't know where those people from the other stations are learning the law or what they're talking about. But look, there's no harm, no foul. That's the end of it. No one relied to their detriment on anything. No one lost a dime. Donald Trump is a whale client. Everybody who comes in with him makes money with him.
Trump owns all of these beautiful properties. He's built these things. What has Joe Biden built?
He's put his name
Joe
on a bunch of
Biden
things that
has
people have
not
ripped
built
it
anything, Jessica.
Whoa.
He hasn't even built a charging station. Okay? This man is responsible for thousands of Americans being hired, and millions of dollars being made by banks, by investors in this great city. The book in the back shot of that stupid former assistant U.S. attorney, you know what it said? Taking Down Trump. That was the book in his little backshot library. This guy is a straight player. These are not straight players. These are hounds, Jessica. This is a savage attack on a man because these people are mentally ill. They don't want to see him actually convicted at all. They just want to see him convicted before the election. They don't care what happens after the election. That's the whole point of this. Joe Biden has unleashed the hounds, and Fanny's talking about the Fanny train. Come on. If you take the Trump train and the Fanny train and you go like this, my money's on the Trump train. Choo-choo, Fanny.